Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another edition of the Honey and Coffee Podcast. I'm your host, Bubbles.
And I'm your other host, Perlin. Today we'll be continuing on from our last special episode, where we've outlined the Male X Honeyfeed contest and its rules, to bring you a little commentary on the winners.
So, without further ado, let's begin with the road to the finals. From roughly 700 titles, our community-curated judges have managed to select the 4 best ones in each of the 3 prompts.
That's not to say the others weren't good. However, when we talk about entertaining plot lines, super well fleshed out characters, and great concepts put into great world building, these were the undisputed best.
There's been a Mal article on them, and you can read all 12 stories on Honeyfeed, but just in case you need a reminder, the finalists were, for the school prompt, Our School is Perfectly Ordinary, Gifted Education Project, or GEP, the Web Novel Club, and Are You Real? For rom-com, it was Cupid's Blame, The Wonderblood Princess and Sir Tryhard, She Can't Be That Perfect, and My First Love Tastes Like Glitter. And for cyberpunk, it was City of Flowers, Faustic, Rat's Reason, and Stuffed.
From all of these, only 3 have been liked by both the public and our special jury enough to warrant them a place in our contest winners club. 3 novels that will be pitched to Kodansha for a potential manga or light novel adaptation. Isn't that right?
Sure is. Now, we told you how they got here, now let's talk about why they've won.
Bear in mind, this is where spoiler territory begins. So, if you don't want to have your beans spilled, you should go read the novels, then come back and watch the rest of the video.
We'll begin with a school prompt where Our School is Perfectly Ordinary by Itsuin has taken the cake. What do you think of it, Pearl?
Not only did the cover caught my attention, but even before I read it, I was really captivated by the premise. A not-so-ordinary school filled with demon hunters, witches, shinigami, and all sorts of supernatural creatures. Although our main character, Shun, is, well, just an ordinary guy. A guy who can see all the supernatural things he's not meant to see. So when superstar demon hunter Sayori takes note of that, he's kind of forced to erase his memory. But as we find out, Shun's mind is a particularly tough nut to destroy.
For me, I think what I liked the most was the prose. It was, in essence, just what you'd expect from a light novel, yet so much more, crisp, yet still vivid descriptions, a very flowy narration. You'd never really feel like it drags, and I particularly enjoyed how Itsuin managed to pivot between inner monologue and action without it ever feeling sequenced or unnatural. Really, it was just well written.
I agree. Say, what was your favorite character?
You first.
Man, it's so hard to choose one. You have Shun, who's super relatable with him being an average Joe swept by every force of nature at once. And then you have Sayori, who you can feel is hiding something very warm and caring behind that Ice Queen exterior. And her opposite, Fumiko the Shinigami, whose bubbly exterior is definitely just a front for something a little bittersweet. But really, if I had to choose one, I think I'll have to go with Hiro. With how he has to live up with family expectations, yet still manages to smile through it all and do things his own way. It's just someone you want to be, both to be and have as your friend.
I agree. For me, it's Shun.
Why?
I'm just boring like that.
Oh, come on, it's not boring. Sometimes the average character is one many relates to because it's just what makes us feel human. Well, now that I'm curious, what is your favorite scene?
I can't pick just one. They're all very fun to read, and really, all of them, and the story as a whole, managed to really show what an ideal school life would be. You have the bonding moments, like the hiking trip, the candy shopping, but also the most stressful stuff, with exams involved almost getting killed by invisible demons and clay monsters, and your sight-winning friend, relatable stuff. At the same time, with Shun being this fish out of water recluse kind of deal, you get this very warm feeling of him just experimenting with things. It's his first time doing so much, and mostly due to his memory loss, but it's all just a blank canvas filled with fond memories to look back to when adult life really hits you.
True. And you know what? Speaking of fond memories, I think that's very much what we see in our rom-com winner, Mikesha's Cupid's Blame. I found it so nice how she managed to weave all sorts of cuteness and comedy in what would otherwise be a pretty terrifying ordeal.
Yeah, like, can you imagine dying and being revived only to be told you have to romance someone you've never met? Especially with the caveat that you're going to be competing with 5 other people for that person's affections. I'd rather just stay dead.
Perhaps so, and maybe most people might feel that way. But you know very well that was all just a pretext. It goes to show that the road to true love is paved well, heavenly beings delivering chilling ultimatums to worrywart teenagers. But really, if you remain true to yourself, like our good boy Ren did, you'll always be able to find what you want.
True, true. But that's not to say that all the others didn't get their just desserts. We get the idea at the beginning that everyone bar our puppy eyes Emma and Ren are these snarky, spiky characters, but ultimately we found that they're all just kids. All had bad luck in love. Yuzi had a very bad experience with an ex. Julius felt like he lost his only friend when said friend got in a relationship. Irie can't help falling in love, and Rika had to sacrifice her crush for his happiness. None of them are just bad people. They're dummies who don't know their way around their own feelings.
Not knowing their way around feelings, that's so relatable, personally speaking. Well, honestly, I'd love to be at that camp and hang around with all of them. They'll make such nice friends.
They all have amazing chemistry. You can really feel the characters coming alive on the page.
And you know what? Akesha's writing style just makes it all the easier. Not too many descriptions, nothing to slow the whole story down. Yet, you can really see everything unfolding before your eyes. Like, it's a stage play brought to life with every actor doing their part. I don't think there's any doubt why it won its category.
I think the same goes for our Cyberpunk winner, City of Flowers by Patad. In short, it's just a fresh breath, you know? Everyone feels like Cyberpunk is all neon lights and metal grey skies, but she's managed to create something so much more than that.
She did. Obviously, you still have all the robots and augments and big corporations watching over you, but you also have a world filled with ruined beauty. It's why I love the scenes after our main girl Iris had run away. You see a stark contrast between the perfect architecture of carbon-copied cities and the way nature, well, though overgrown and invasive, still retains an enthralling mystique.
Very good thematic, this artificial versus nature clash. We see in so many ways how humanity had tried to remove itself from all that made it, well, human. Alex's bionic implants and necessary sacrifice for her to become a bodyguard. How history has been suppressed by means of severing the connection with our ancestors and trapping survivors in plant bodies. Blue men held in glass prisons. How art, which many claim to be the final step an AI would have to undertake to become completely human, has been condemned and formalized. Every artist becoming an outcast in exile almost. At every step you feel this intentional discomfort being woven in a world so subtly, yet still it's all evidently wrong.
Right? And this is why I think Iris is such a strong character. She sees all of these wrongs so deeply embedded in the fabric of reality, yet still chooses to fight. She gets hunted and chased and sees her friends die, her life locked away from her. But once her mission starts, she understands there's no coming back. In the end, she manages to inspire and rally even her pursuers behind her cause.
True. It was a very sweet moment when Alex and Iris met again after only a brief encounter in the slums. As a reader, I think it goes without saying, you'd wish you could have spent more time seeing the two's bond blossom and flourish. But that's why it won, no? Because it was such a gripping story that it made you want more.
Exactly, I know I do. Plus, the writing was mwah! Beautifully ornamented landscapes brimming with world building information and dialogue that carried a sort of hollowness, a sense of distance to it. If I were to describe this book, I'd say it's like a lone flower poking its head through a thick blanket of lead and snow, purity sprouting from decay.
Now, with all that said and done, You may be wondering what happens next. Sure, all 3 winners get pitched to Kodansha, but that's not the end for them or for you. They also get contracted to Hive Mind Electric Agency run by Honeyfeet's parent company, queued up from where they might be privy to all sorts of other opportunities.
And while the 3 get a sure deal, they might not be the only ones. Here's the exciting part. Hive Mind will be looking at all the finalist event winners, and, well, even on our website. And they might extend offers to anyone they might think fit to join their ranks.
Oh, if you want a chance to get picked up and have your work pitched to Japanese publishers, you can start by joining our community, posting your stories on the website and participating in our events and contests.
And there will be many of those coming this year, won't there, Bubbles?
There sure will. So make sure to keep your eyes peeled on our announcements and follow our social media to be the first to know. Well, I guess we're just about ready to wrap up. Thank you for watching. I've been Bubbles.
And yours truly, Pearl.
And we hope to see you again in our next episode. Bye!
Bye!